Hi everyone, welcome to AI Tech Talk. My name is Ashok Samuel and I'm your host for today. It's been quite some time. Many of you asked me, how can we make our RPA, robotic process automation, little smarter by infusing the cognitive services. So in today's technical talk, what I'm going to cover and show you guys how easy it is to use the cognitive services. In this case, we are using the Microsoft Cognitive Services and infuse it to a robotic process automation, which is in this case is UiPath. This is my UiPath, and you can see I have 6 examples here. So before we start the session, I would like to show you what we are trying to cover today. This is, let's say, UiPath, and this is Microsoft Cognitive Services, right? So UiPath already having a couple of cognitive services from Microsoft. One of them is OCR, and another is text analytics. But Microsoft Cognitive Services has a lot of other things that UiPath currently don't support natively. So what we're gonna see is we're gonna see a couple of these examples, and we're gonna see something from this side. How can we infuse the cognitive services that UiPath don't support it natively today? So we will have a couple of examples like text analytics again. We will use LUIS, Language Understanding Intelligence Services, where we will understand the intent and entity of a speaker. And we will also see how you can have a bot in Microsoft Cognitive Services and Microsoft Bot Framework, and how a UiPath can directly talk to a bot and take the answers back and have a continuous dialogue flow between UiPath and the bot. Right? So stay tuned to it, and let me go to this exercise and I will show you how easy it is. So let's start with our first demo, which is a text analytics. If I go inside, if you can see here, there is a inbuilt Microsoft text analytics. You already get it inside the UiPath, so you just need to write text analytics, and you get a couple of options: Microsoft, IBM, Google, and in this case you just need to drag the Microsoft one here and put it here. So let's say I have a statement like this: I had a great night at Bhubaneswar. Many of you even don't know what is Bhubaneswar. That's the name of a city where I'm from, basically. So if you see this, all I'm trying to do is just having a text analytics here, then I'm just saying what's the output, and I'm just logging the output, right? So that's it. But in the right hand side, you can see I'm using a key and I'm using a service URL. And if I just open it up, so the service URL looks something like this: Central US API cognitive.microsoft.com and blah blah blah. So the first question should be coming to your mind: how should you get it? So if you go to the Microsoft portal.microsoft or portal.azure.com, and once you are there, just go to the cognitive services or go to create a resource and just type here text analytics. So all you need to do is create a text analytics here, and at the end of this text analytics process, you will be getting a URL as well as a key. Right? So that's exactly what I'm using here, a URL and the key. That's it. And the text is, I had a great night at Bhubaneswar. Let's run this process and see what we are getting as the output. Takes a while. And now the output is ready. Now it's a JSON format. It says detected language is English. Then it says score is 96% confident. And the document, the key phrases spoken here is great night, Bhubaneswar, and that's the location, right? And there is no error in it. So let's try to put another statement here. your credit card sucks. Let's say this is a really bad sentiment from the customer, right? So if we just analyze that, so it says I'm 6% confident that, or sorry, this is the sentiment. So I'm 6% sentiment, like it is really a bad sentiment, and the language is English, and the key phrase spoken is, oh sorry, I wrote it wrong, credit card. It should be the card, and socks, right? So if I just correct it here, I'll just make it a nicer version of it. It's too bad. So again, the score is only 5%. You see, the sentiment is 5% out of 100, which is a really bad sentiment, right? And the language is English, which is 100% confident. And then the key phrase spoken was credit card. Now it's parsing or understanding it correctly. So this is something UiPath is already having inside the cognitive bundle they have. If you go to the next demo, OCR, so if you don't know what is OCR, we will see it in a demo directly here. Let me open it up quickly. So if you just go here in the UiPath search and just type OCR, there is a lot of OCR options available, and there is a Microsoft OCR also here, Google and others OCR, right? So in this case, we are using a Microsoft OCR, and there is a picture on my desktop which inside the image, and there is one.png. That's the picture or the image that I have, and on the image there were some things written in it, right? Let's see what we have in the image. So one.png is just text, right? Some people need to enlarge web content, blah blah blah, right? So let's close it. Let's see what we are getting output in this case. So all I'm doing here is the same thing, you know. I'm just loading an image, then I have Azure OCR, just right. If I click on this, then you see there is again an API key and an endpoint here, right? So how to get it? Again, the old procedure, you have to create a resource and just type here, or the computer vision, right? So inside the computer vision you will get OCR. So you just click here, create it. At the end of this process you will get a URL and a key, and that's exactly what you're gonna use here as a process, right? So here I'm not sure what language it is, so I will just put auto detect. If you already know it's English, just put English in that case, and then just run the process. All right, so the output is just a text that we are expecting from the OCR. Now, you see, this is the exact thing that you saw here. Some people need to enlarge web content and blah blah blah, you know, all those things. So we input an image, and it's able to optically read all the content that I had on the image, and it is just printing it out. So the output is basically a JSON, but we're just getting the text output here, right? So these are the two things which is already inbuilt to UiPath. But what else we can do? This is the other thing we can do. So I will go straight to the demonstration of demo number 3 here. So it is a multi-language text analytics. Let's say you have a document with multiple languages in it, right? Let's see if something is not inbuilt to UiPath, how you can do it. So the first thing first, you need to get a HTTP request. So if you don't have it already, just go to the manage package and just find out UiPath.web, and inside the UiPath.web you have HTTP request. So drag HTTP request, and all you will get is something like this. It's a HTTP call, right? So I have an endpoint. If you have a closer look on this, it's a cognitive services, the text analytics, the one you saw before, and I want to find out the key phrases in the document or in the text, right? And here in the header section, I have a collection. So the content type is application/session and my key in this case. And of course I will delete the key after the demo. So and if you see the body content, I have a document here, and that document is a JSON document. I'm saying the document ID is 1, language is English, and the text is hello world. This is some input text that I love. That's all I have. So we're gonna do a text analytics to understand the key phrases spoken in it, right? So there is only one thing. There is no other language, no other sentence or document, right? Run it. And it takes a while, and the output you got is input text and world. These are the top 2 words spoken in or written in the text, right? Let's go one step ahead and put a document like this. So it has 3 things: English, French, Spanish. Of course I don't understand Spanish and French, so sorry. So I have no idea what is written there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to this body section here. We will delete all the content and we'll put a new content here, right? So it has 3 IDs, so English, French, and Spanish. So I put OK, and let's read on it. Now, the first one, the English one, says input text, world. These are the 2 important things spoken, and this is what we got it from the French. I have no idea what does it mean. It means world or something. And and the Spanish, you get this as output. Again, I have no idea what it is. So if you guys know, just put it in the comments what the meaning of this, right? So this is text analytics when you are not using the UiPath inbuilt one, when you are doing it by yourself. So what I'm doing here, you see, I'm getting the output of this HTTP and I'm deserializing to a JSON and saving it as a result. Then I'm crawling through by using the for each loop for each item, then do this, find out the document, and from the document just find out the stuff that you are interested in. And this case, it is the key phrases, right? So this is the text analytics. Let's go to our next demo quickly. This is interesting. Lewis, intent and entity. So guys, if you don't know what is Lewis, then I will just do it quickly. Lewis, language, understanding, intelligent, service. That means that if a person is just talking in a native language, then you will be able to understand the intent and the entities present in this statement. For an example, let's say I'm saying something like this: me and my wife are flying to Paris tomorrow, right? So if that is a statement, and if you analyze through Lewis, then the result, the intent is, let's say in this case, book a flight, right? If you're talking to a travel agency, then the intent is book a flight, and the entity is, location is Paris, time, date time is tomorrow. And maybe you can define another composite entity, number of person equal to 3. Oh, sorry, 2, me and my wife, so 2, right? So this is what Lewis does internally. So we'll see. If you guys don't know or never seen it, let's have a look on this. this is my Lewis, and you can reach it to lewis.ai and create your own app. And I have a list of app here, and I'm using this particular one, the email virtual Ashok. I have a virtual assistant, so that has a Lewis in it, and in this case I'm trying to understand the email. So if you go inside the email, you can actually see how I have built it. There is a lot of intent. Intent could be add a flag, delete the message, or delete or reply. And if you go inside the reply, there is a number of examples here, and if you go to this entity, you can find out all the entities I have here. So attachment, category, contact name, if you're talking about a person, let's say Rob or Mike, that's the contact name. Then the email address, email platform, let's say you were talking about Outlook or Gmail or something, that's email platform. So in a nutshell, the output from the Lewis is two things. One is the intent and another is the entity with a confidence score, right? So let's look at UiPath and see how we can infuse this with UiPath. Before I go there, once you train and publish this Lewis, you will get something like this as a key endpoints. And here the key endpoints are like this. So these are your URL along with your API keys, right? So let's jump to UiPath and let's do the demo for Lewis intent and entity. It takes a while to start. Perfect. So what I'm trying to do is, this is a HTTP request again, like the last time, and you got the complete URL here. And then in the header section, you again have the key here, and here in the body format is the application JSON, and in the parameter I'm saying the question is, or the query is, please reply to Rob with message, when can you come to my home? So this is the message that I want to send to Rob. And by looking at it, if you are a human, you understand I'm trying to reach to my reply intent, and the name of the person is Rob, and then the message is, when can you come to my home, right? So if I just run this, so the first thing it says intent is reply, that's correct, and it is 93% confident that it is reply, which is a very good thing. Then it says entity type is contact name, and the value is Rob, which is correct. And it says you have another entity, and this time it is a message, and the value is, when can you come to my home? So you are actually understanding the NLP, natural language processing, you are doing here by using Lewis. If you have 10 entities, it will list down all the 10 entities that you are talking about, right? So that's our fourth demo. So let's see what the fifth one is, and this is interesting. Classify images. I'm sure the industry that you're working with, there is a lot of image or object to understand or recognize or classify the images and stuff like that. So in this example, we will understand how you can use Microsoft Cognitive Services to classify the images. Okay, so for those who doesn't know what it is, we will jump to custom vision. So Microsoft Cognitive Services has something called as custom vision, and the custom vision here, I have an example. I want to understand if it is a picture of a car or a picture of a bike, right? So I created my classification model by using only 18 pictures from the bike. If you can see here, they all are bike, and I have tagged them to bike. Sorry, there are cars in the next one, and 17 from the car. Yeah, now this time it is correct. Right, so I have two things. And then once you get it, then just train it and just go to this and publish it, and in the performance section just click on publish here and you get a prediction URL. So once you get the prediction URL, there is two things you can do. Either you just send a URL of the picture, or you can upload your image that you want to predict whether it is a bike or a car, right? So what you get is a URL and a prediction key and just the content type, right? And the URL one ends with URL and the image one ends with image, right? Or yeah. So once you have it, let's straight jump to the UiPath and see what we have done here. Again, the HTTP request, this is the URL that you had, and then in the header section, again, you get the same thing, prediction key and the content type. And in the body, we have a URL that you want to predict whether it is a car or a bike. So let's actually go to this URL and see what is there, really. So this is the picture of a car, right? So let's go to the UiPath and see what it predicts. So it will predict either it is a car or a bike. Now it's running. So it says car, I'm 100% sure, because it's 1 into 100 is 100. But bike, I'm 1.45 minus. So it's not a bike, it's a car. And if you want to test it in reality, let's find out a picture of a bike. Let's say motorbike pic, right? So let's find out a nice one, which I don't have it. Let's try this. Somebody is having fun here. Let's copy the image address, right? And go to our UiPath and edit this body and just delete this image that we have here with this image, right? And let's predict whether it is a car or a bike. You run. It's a bike, 100%. And the car is 3.8 in minus. So it works. Now think about cases in the insurance company, whether you need to predict whether it is a photo of a car that you have insurance against or not a photo of a car, that particular car you have insurance against. Right, a lot of use cases can fall on top of it, right? So without wasting time, let's go to our final one. And this is interesting. How can you talk to a Microsoft bot with UiPath, right? So before that, I just want to show you, we already have a bot, and I just want to show you how that thing works today. So, ready for a conversation with the bot? Here it goes. Hello.
Sorry, my bot code is having an issue.
Sorry, I think I have...
Hey, nice to have you back.
Sorry, I'll start it over again. Sorry for the bad experience. Hi, good morning.
Hey, nice to have you back.
Where can I find milk?
The product is in second line, third row.
Can you please update my phone number to +46 12345678
Please give me a moment. Noted and updated. It LOL reflect in your account in 2 to 3 minutes. Anything else I can do for you?
Perfect. So this is what the bot interaction is. And you know what? At the end of this, the bot should actually send me an email. Here, you see? So it says customer info change request. Hello admin. Customer did this. Face identification is done. And I'm your little friend. Okay. Right. So you get a message in the admin. Right. So we will see how that thing can happen with UiPath. right? How can you talk to a bot for a specific question and answer? Takes a while to start. All right, so nothing much. It's the same thing. Couple of HTTP requests. You see, I have 3 HTTP requests, and then the conversation flow, and then the whole logic is written here. If you want it, just contact me down here in the comment, and I will provide you all the things that I have. So here in the UiPath example, you will find I have 3 HTTP requests after one another, and the purpose of having these 3 things is the first one here, I'm starting a conversation, and in the second HTTP request, once the conversation link is set up, I'm asking a question here to the bot, and in the HTTP 3 request 3, I'm getting the reply from the bot, right? And then I'm showing you what is actually you said and what the bot replied. So that's the demo. So if you go to the number 2, where I'm asking the questions, if you see what kind of questions I'm asking here, is not this one, this one is in the body. I'm asking ID equal to user1 text, update my phone number to +46 123456789. You have already seen what is the expected behavior of this. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to run this demo. Alright, we will also get another message like that. So it says, you said, update my phone number to +46 123456789, and then bot replied, please give me a moment, noted and updated. It will reflect in your account in 2 to 3 minutes. Anything else I can do for you? And then if you go to my email again, you see there is a new email just came 0 minutes ago, and with the similar content that you saw before, right? So this is how our UiPath workflow is actually talking to a bot that I have built in Microsoft Cognitive Services and Bot Framework, and getting the reply from the bot. So this is a very simple scenario, and if you have complex problem or a complex situation where you need to talk to a lot of bots in between to make a RPA smarter to take decisions, then this is how you do it, but it will be a bigger workflow. Thank you guys. If you have more comments, just write it down in the comment section. If you want to know more about this thing, just send me a private message or just drop a comment here. I will reply as soon as I can. Thank you guys. Stay tuned to AI Tech Talk, and in the next time you will again see some of the trending topics in a technical discussion. Thank you guys. Have a good day.